Everyone. Deborah, help me. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Just making sure. I'm Lori Bush. I'm your current at-large representative in the town of Cary, and it's been a pleasure and a real joy, and I'm incredibly humbled to have been on the council for these last 12 years. One of the things I've noticed about attending chamber events and Heart of Cary events is how, one, amazingly caring this group is. I mean, maybe that's why we're Cary, but it's an amazingly caring place. People look out for each other. People support each other, just like in the Chamber of Commerce. You all go to each other's businesses. And that's what makes a sustainable town, is by actually stepping up and helping your fellow businesses. Not only that, but there's still work to be done. And although we're a remarkable place, I always say, there's always room for improvement. So once we have the park and once we have some additional amenities in various places across town, I hope you will continue to be that engaging and caring group of people that I know you are, and let us know what matters to you, and also tell us when we're doing things right and when we're not doing them as well. So thank you.
And thanks to all of you for being here and sharing part of your day with us. I'm Mary for Cary Innsbrucker, running for Cary Town Council at large. I am a moderate, balanced voice, no extremism, polarization, or divisiveness. I am a former consultant to the town of Cary, a businesswoman, and a former regional director of one of the largest nonprofits in the Midwest, who actually oversaw an affordable housing program, and I am the only candidate to do so. I've always been involved in community, so town council is a natural step for me to continue to serve. I've been with Make-A-Wish, Habitat, Special Olympics, and I currently serve on the board of directors of the American Red Cross. I feel all these skill sets will serve me well as an at-large representative. Thank you.
Don France, and it has been my honor and privilege to serve as your elected representative here in District B for the last 16 years. I've spent the last 4 years serving as your mayor pro tem, so it's truly been an honor. We are truly blessed to live in one of the greatest communities in America, and I'm running for re-election to continue to work to make Cary an even better place to live, work, and raise a family, and give back to the community that's provided so much to me and my family over the years. A little bit about me. My wife Lisa and I are the proud parents of 6 children. We now have 8 grandchildren and counting. We're not sure how many we're going to end up with, but life is great. We're also successful small business owners here in downtown Cary. So as such, I understand many of the issues and obstacles facing business today. I'm actually the only small business owner on the council, and I think that's important. I think that voice needs to be represented on the town council. Cary is one of the greatest places to live. We are consistently ranked one of the safest cities in America. Our parks and recreation facilities are second to none. We actually got a gold medal award to prove it. We're always ranked one of the best places to raise a family, start a business, buy a home, get a job. Things are great in Cary, but we do have challenges. And I believe that I'm up to the task to continue to work on those challenges. I bring the right experience, the right background, so I hope that through my efforts I've earned your trust and support for another term, and I ask for your vote on October 10th. Thank you.
I'm Michelle Craig. I'm running for Cary Town Council District B. Thank you so much for being here today and for the opportunity to speak to the Heart of Cary Association. I was born and raised in North Carolina. I'm from Johnston County. I remember as a child my grandmother bringing me to big outings to Cary, Cary Town Center and to South Hills. And of course, I have to mention our family favorite restaurant, D&S Cafeteria, that recently closed. That was one that we frequented, so I felt like we were in Cary a lot. I've watched Cary grow through the years. More than my grandparents and my dad, who grew up in Garner, could ever have imagined. Now to 184,000 people. My dad talks about working out here in Cary when there was 20,000 people, and he talked about these roads didn't exist and all that, and so he talked about eating lunch at Ashworth's, and now when he brings my children there to get a hot dog, he is just astonished at what downtown looks like now. 55 years later. I appreciated hearing Mr. Westbrook and Mr. Ashworth talk about mapping out downtown Cary when we were here, when I was here recently for a Heart of Cary meeting, and I've heard similar stories, knocking doors and talking to people, talking to residents. The transformation of downtown Cary has been remarkable. We will continue to look for balance of growth as we flourish and hold on to what many residents see as a small town feel.
I have the honor of serving as the District D Council member on the Cary Town Council. A little about me: I'm a husband, a father of 4, I'm a deacon, and I work as a digital product manager at the State Employees Credit Union. I love living in Cary. I think Cary has a truly unique feel, and I'm really glad to be part of the community here. Even though I think we're doing great and our council's moving in the right direction, there's a couple areas that I think we really should look at improving. The first of those is connectivity, connecting our greenways and our sidewalks, but also connecting our people with the town. I also think we should be mindful of balanced growth, encourage more mixed-use developments. We should support our police and fire, but also looking at improving our rescue services. But above all else, we need to be mindful of this historical charm we have here in Cary. And then lastly, I'd like to focus on environmental conservation. All of the decisions we make as a council affect our environment in some way, and we need to be mindful of those impacts that we do have on the environment. I want to thank Heart of Cary and allowing us the opportunity to speak here today.
The town of Cary, and I'm so honored to be running for the District D Town Council seat. Thank you so much for hosting this forum and giving us all a chance to talk. Every time I come to downtown Cary, I am amazed at the transition from the sleepy little town I grew up visiting to the vibrant place and destination that we have today. You are all responsible for that change, and I want to thank you for it. Like you, I love Cary, and I want to be a part of this. But I want to make sure that as we celebrate our town and our good fortune, we don't lose sight of the needs of all of our residents or our priorities for tomorrow. I know it is possible for Cary to welcome a booming future without losing our small town charm, but I think it takes being clear-eyed and research-focused about the challenges and trade-offs and really honest about our priorities. And for me, that is connecting all of Cary, making sure we are environmentally sustainable, but it's also thinking about all of our residents and making sure that everyone has the opportunity to share in the awesomeness that's Cary. What I appreciate most about our Cary Police Department is their dedication to community engagement. Whether it's coffee with citizens or showing up with their canine department at my daughter's elementary school. They're always around, they're always helping Cary residents. And this focus on community policing is so important, and I've been so impressed with their dedication. One of the best parts of running for office has been getting to see more of the people who make this town work and who dedicate their lives to service. I'm also so proud to hear about the way our police department is already engaging with people by taking them to Dorcas and other local organizations to connect people to housing assistance and services. I was so interested and proud to hear Officer Candelero talking about that the last time we were here at Heart of Cary, and I really am just amazed by his dedication and by the thoughtfulness of the policies they put in place. Having said that, frankly, it would be really presumptuous of me to stand up here and tell you that I know their job better than they do. One of the things I am dedicated to doing is to listening to experts and talking to them. And so I really hope that on the council, part of what I want to do is work with professionals for public safety and consult with the trained people here.
Drivers in downtown. So one of the problems with that the police are having, I think, is ultimately the issue of having cars, bikes, and people all trying to get around downtown right now. Obviously, with the park opening, that's just going to make things worse. It's going to make things more difficult for them to manage. I think as a council, we need to look at ensuring bike and pedestrian safety as a way to help facilitate easier transitions through downtown. There's a couple ways I think we can do that. The first one, I would love to see dedicated bike lanes in downtown. Something I know we've talked about, but love to see that executed. Also, I think it would be great to continue projects like the Higgins Greenway expansion, where we're allowing bike and pedestrian traffic to travel to and from downtown in a way maybe not on a street or a sidewalk. I also think that we should also look at possibly implementing alternative traffic patterns as part of downtown. Because ultimately, downtown should be a destination, not a cut through to get from point A to point B. We want people to come to downtown, not just drive through it. And then lastly, I'm going to look at crosswalks. I had an opportunity this past spring to attend our Cary Chamber's intercity trip to Tampa. And one of the things that I think Tampa did really cool is something that they do with their crosswalks. One afternoon I joined Councilmember Bush, and we went out and took a look at some of the painted crosswalks in Tampa. Now, I don't know how putting art on our crosswalks is really going to help, if that is going to help, but I think innovative solutions like that might help facilitate some of that pedestrian traffic, especially around our downtown park. So looking at encouraging bike and pedestrians will probably make it easier for drivers.
The well-being of our community will continue to be the top priority. I know maintaining safety is important, and I appreciate the forethought to hire patrol and security officers for downtown. At the last Heart of Cary meeting, I know some concerns were expressed about the homeless being around downtown. I appreciate the work and thoughtfulness that has been put by town council, staff, and Cary Police Department. I know we have several new downtown officers on foot and bikes that will be based out of park offices. They are well positioned and incredibly qualified for community policing, and I think we'll leave it to the experts on that. We'll continue to partner with them to listen to resident and business needs. And I was particularly impressed at the last Heart of Cary meeting with Officer Candelaria's comments, and which he addressed about treating people fairly and making sure that we are treating people as humans first, that we are really understanding the needs of our community, and that includes people that are homeless. So I appreciate their partnerships with other organizations to help meet the needs of those people. And homelessness is a housing issue, and so a lot of homeless people are underemployed and unable to afford housing costs. So we will continue to look at affordable housing needs as well.
Noise pollution, we're talking about the downtown park. Downtown park is going to be a hub of activity. There's going to be festivals and events and concerts and plays and all these wonderful things happening there. People are going to be there. But yes, it's going to make some sounds. To that end, we've been working with the area residents, everybody around the park, to hear their concerns, find out what's acceptable to them, what are their expectations, and do what we can to meet it. But make no mistake, the downtown park is not going to be HoCA Booth Amphitheater. Eminem is not playing at the downtown park, okay? We're going to end the shows at a respectable hour. Sundays are going to remain sacred. Distracted driving, I agree with a lot of what Mr. Eves just said, but we're trying to create a walkable and pedestrian-friendly downtown. We want to encourage people to come, park your car, get out and walk around. To that end, we're building additional parking structures. We're looking at ways to fix some of the parking issues in the public streets. There's going to be stuff coming out on that soon. And then as far as the homeless, you can ask the chief of police. I blow his phone up on this issue day in and day out. Make no mistake, we are not going to allow homelessness to take root in this community, okay? But we are also going to work with them to find them the services and the resources that they need. We're going to treat them with the kindness and compassion that they deserve, because they are human beings and they didn't ask to be in this position. Nobody seeks out to be homeless. We've got to do what we can to try to help them. We're committed to that, and we'll continue to do so. Thank you.
To answer your question, I'm going to choose door number 1, noise. But I do want to reiterate that safety is my main concern with the downtown park. So much so I met with the chief of police to discuss tactics about it. But going back to noise, we certainly do not want to have the situations and problems similar to Glenwood South. So, so this implies a lot of things, but again, back to noise. Section 22 of Cary's Code of Ordinances kind of covers this topic very well. I think that if we enforce that, we'll be in pretty good shape. But like everything that I think of in Cary, I think of it as a living document, constantly something that needs to be renewed, refreshed, changed. We need to visit this over time and see what's working and what's not, and then take steps to do what we need to do to make sure that the downtown park draws people and doesn't push them away. I'm sure council addressed a lot of things on this list, like the safety and the noise and so forth. A little too late now after spending millions of dollars, so hopefully everything's in pretty good shape. But some other thoughts might be for noise abatement, shuttles to reduce traffic volume and noise, cycling, walking, greenway paths, create barriers, which again I think have been addressed, you know, the landscaping and insulation and other things like that that can reduce noise concerns. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about the fact that this is an urban park. We don't really have any urban large parks in Cary, so this is actually a new endeavor for us. We have Heater Park and Dorothy Park and a park called Urban Park, but these are generally places where people come together to connect and have what I call beneficial collisions so that they can meet each other and something remarkable happens from it. And it increases the social fabric of who we are. And it's kind of new to us. Although we have great events like at HoCA Booth and Wake Med, this one's going to have events, you know, not 24/7, but every day. So the things that we have learned that we will implement. But what I'm also concerned about, it being the only bike rider on council, is the pedestrian issue. And what I think we will find is that people will learn. Hopefully they will learn like they have on the UNC campus, that when you're in an area where there are a lot of people and a lot of cars, you slow down. But there's ways that we can also help that. And one of the ways is we're doing a downtown park study or a downtown Cary study right now to identify what areas need to be fixed and where they need to be fixed. You may not be able to make a right on red anymore, and we probably shouldn't in a downtown area where there's lots of pedestrians. So I'm hopeful, and I believe that staff will do a great job at getting many of these issues addressed.
That's kind of the age-old question in politics, right? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Well, we're just kind of looking into the future and, you know, predicting. But my answer is heck yes. Downtown is now alive and vibrant. It's a destination. It's a place where people want to go and be and connect. There are things to do and places to go. People and businesses now want to be in downtown, and that's a great thing. It's a great problem to have, but it still does present challenges. One thing that I've really tried to work really hard on is to make sure that while we continue to grow, while new things continue to happen, that we never lose sight of what made downtown Cary special, that character and that charm that it has. And that's something that I've really fought for. I was literally the guy that made sure that we don't do any new development or big buildings and things on South Academy Street. I was the guy that made sure that once we acquired all the land for the downtown park, that we kept our promise to build a park and not allow the majority of that site to be developed like so many people were trying to do. They actually wanted to wrap the whole thing with apartments and do a little postage stamp park in the middle. I was a heck no. I love the adaptive reuse we're seeing in downtown. Most of actually the new stuff in downtown isn't new construction. It's taking the older buildings and repurposing them into something that people want to visit, want to go to. We're seeing that with RBF, with the old Williams House, with Bond Brothers, for example, West End down on West Chatham Street, the Cotton House, MC. Downtown's awesome.
That in 4 years we'll look back and we'll see the continued progress and how our downtown has continued to flourish. And we will be proud of how we have balanced the needs of both our businesses and our residents. I am looking forward to continued and more rapid progress in helping with housing affordability. I had addressed that in my statement earlier, that homelessness is a housing issue, and housing issue is throughout Cary. So many people still see Cary as an upper middle class community, and as a teacher, that's not all of the students that I serve in Cary. I serve a balance of a variety of families with a variety of different backgrounds and income levels. And so I know that we're in a housing crisis. And so looking back 4 years from now, I believe we will be proud in the partnerships we've made in working with our county commissioners and One Wake and a number of other organizations, and really trusting experts to help us make strides in making sure that we are increasing housing supply near planned transit, and that we are, one of the challenges is perceptions about housing affordability, and making sure that people understand that essential workers also need affordable housing.
I was asked this question a year ago. I would most certainly have said development and talked to you about how important that is to get development right. And while I agree that that is something that is critical, what I've noticed in my 8 months of office is that there appears to be a disconnect between the people in Cary, specifically the residents out in my district, and what we're doing at Town Hall. So one of the things that I would like to look at improving is the communication, is the engagement from people. I focused a lot of effort this year on building relationships, on trying to connect people with the town. But I think one thing in particular stands out to me as kind of a focal point of highlighting that disconnect. And that's the RFP that the town offered a couple months ago. I think a lot of people saw that and they felt betrayed. They felt, wow, the town was moving on. You know, the bus was gone and you're leaving me behind. A lot of people weren't on board with that, just weren't sure where the vision of the council and the town was. I think that I would chalk that up to that disconnect, to the fact that people weren't fully engaged, the town wasn't as transparent and communicating maybe as well as it should be. So one of the things I would like to see, looking back 4 years from now, is a more connected town. A town that communicates, and a council that communicates and more engaged with the citizens.
A little bit of a humdinger, because in 4 years, I'll be dropping my daughter off for her last year of middle school. And that is scary. But I hope in that time we'll have made it easier for her to ride her bike from my home to her middle school. I hope she'll have made friends who have come from all over the country and the world to be here in Cary and share in the quality of life that we have here. But what I want most is to be part of a council that makes research-based, holistic decisions. Now that's a little bit tougher for us out in District D because we are at the leading edge of a lot of the gaps here. I live less than a mile from a major shopping center across a 6-lane highway, and there is a crosswalk painted across it with no light, with no way to get across it. And actually one of the things that made me say, okay, I guess I have to run for this, was talking to Lori Bush and having her tell me there was a proposal for a pedestrian tunnel, and it didn't really get looked at. So I really want to focus on policies that help everybody, that connect our town, and that make us all better.
Specifically to Downtown Cary, that we're looking back and realizing that the stormwater improvement project that is also the Downtown Park and the vaults underneath it have not just made a difference for Downtown Park, but all the residents who are really suffering when we get these torrential rain problems that the 1,000-year storms that we've had 3 times this year. I also hope that we look forward and backwards to what we did well and what we could improve. Because I think whatever we do well and what we can improve, we can take to other areas of Cary, especially to the western side of Cary and District D. I also hope that we not sit back on our laurels and say we did this right, but what else can we do? I'm also concerned about climate change and everything that's going on. It's no longer global warming, it's global boiling. So what can we do with the lessons we've done here, especially with native plants and increasing the tree canopy, and where can we take that to other areas of Cary? And it's not just putting trees there, it's investing in our community. So where else can we make those investments to improve the sustainable efforts that we already have going on? And then finally, I hope that we engage more and get your feedback and input as we did with our Imagine Cary plan, and we'll be doing very shortly. Hope you will come back for that and do that for other areas of Cary as well.
So I want to be involved in a town council that is 100% dedicated to representative government. The folks elect us to represent them, and I take that very seriously. I think, to again address the question, some of the strengths for a good town council are collaboration, reviewing things, including citizens, cooperation, fraternity. These are the hallmarks of a great team and a great town council. What do I want to see happen in 4 years? Well, many things, but I'm limited on time. But I'll tell you, I want Cary residents and businesses to be benchmarked as the most satisfied in the country. I want to check off goals on the Cary Community Plan and start a new list because we finished all of those goals. And I take very seriously the causes that have been placed on us. That's our charge. Affordable housing, so I create a framework for success. Intelligent growth. Growth is here. Growth is here. It's here. We need to focus on infrastructure. Make sure we're keeping up with the infrastructure. Safety, vigilance, and prevention. Senior concerns, aging in place, and keeping taxes low. I want Cary to be the destination for achieving the American dream. Thank you.
Your graciousness and welcoming us here today, and your patience and hearing us drone on about our ideas. I'm always a little nervous in settings like this because I'm most comfortable with my nose in a book. And that is what I love to do. I love to research. I love to talk to people. It was funny, I had a very heated discussion with Lori about a policy about the town the other day, and she said, "I'm sorry, I hope you don't take offense." And I said, "This is my favorite thing. I find it really stressful to be up in front of people and be on stage. But the best thing in the world is hearing what people think and interacting with people in good faith who want to make the world better." And so what I most want to bring to Cary is that passion. And my passion for research and my passion for connecting with people. So I hope that's what I leave you with. And I would be so honored if you would vote for me for your District D Cary Town representative.
Thank the Heart of Cary for the opportunity to speak. But I want to specifically thank you for inviting myself and Rachel as the District D candidates out here. I think geographically we're the furthest from downtown, but I appreciate allowing us to come in and talk to you. Shortly after I moved to Cary, early 2010, I brought my parents down here and I took them to downtown because I kind of wanted to show off this new town. We drove through downtown, again this is 2010, really wasn't much going on. I'm going to be honest. So we ended up in Apex. Took them out to eat there. We've come a long way looking at our downtown now. And I take a lot of pride in downtown in being able to come frequent the many establishments and the many events that we have going on in downtown. As several of us have said, Cary is becoming a regional draw. Again, when I moved down here, people referred to Cary as a sleepy bedroom community. More people left Cary to work than came. That has shifted. Today, more people commute into Cary for employment than leave it. We're becoming an employment center. We're becoming truly a mixed-use live, work, play. And I really want to continue to support that mantra and become a place where people are comfortable living, working, and playing.
I mentioned earlier that I was born and raised in North Carolina, and I say that I'm from Johnston County, but the reality is that we moved all around central North Carolina. I've lived in 22 homes in my 45 years, so that's an average of, once every 2 years moving. And so to 9 different schools, K through 12, and to come to Cary, I have lived here longer than I've lived anywhere in my life, and it's nice to finally have a home and to have a community that rallies around you and supports you and that you can be a part of. And as I was looking at running for Cary Town Council, this was the first time where I really felt invested and wanted to give back to a community. So it's an honor to be able to raise my 2 children here and to have them have stability. Housing stability is important. Housing affordability is important. That's something that I want us to continue to put so much of our efforts into. And making sure that our essential workers are able to work and live here. Making sure our children are able to afford to live here when they grow up, and making sure that our seniors are able to age in place. Those are all among my top priorities. And also making sure that we are being respectful of our environment and prioritizing sustainability. I ask for your vote for Cary Town Council District B. Thank you.
I always love coming to the Heart of Cary meetings because I've been involved with the Heart of Cary Association for 20 years. I was actually the governmental affairs chair for the Heart of Cary Association in 2004, I think. And I remember being in a meeting one night with some other folks on a totally different topic and organization, and I remember Carol Ogle and Curtis Westbrook coming up to me. And after that meeting was over, and they said, you know, Don, we had a meeting last night. We voted you president. And, you know, at first I was like, well, I didn't ask. Nobody told me about it. But it was humbling in that they saw the work that I had been doing for the Heart of Cary Association for downtown, and they believed in me and what I could do and what I could accomplish. So I spent the next 2 years as president of the Heart of Cary working to grow membership, but really build relationships with the people across the street and become a partnership with the town, because relationships matter. Working together is how you get things done in a community. And so we made great strides in that. So I always love coming to the Heart of Cary Association. I'm excited about the things that are happening in and around downtown. It is a live and vibrant place that people want to be. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not happy with everything that's happened in downtown. I don't think any of us are. But I do know this. I wasn't too long ago when around 5 o'clock they rolled the sidewalks up and everybody went home and downtown became a ghost town. That is no longer the case. It is a live, vibrant, dang, I hate that red light bulb.
I always don't like following Don.
One-man show. Got a second career on stage somewhere.
So the mayor has cautioned against partisanship being a threat to Cary, and I agree with him 100%. That's why I'm a moderate, balanced voice, no divisiveness, extremism, or polarization. I'm just laser focused on what's best for Cary. I want my agenda to be your agenda, so I've gone into the community and spoken to a lot of folks. Top issues: affordable housing, safety, and intelligent growth. When I hear affordable housing is an issue, I create a framework for success. When I hear safety is an issue, I meet with the chief of police and the fire chief to discuss tactics. I'm already getting to work and I'm not even elected yet. My pledge to you is indeed hard work, dedication, transparency, approachability. I want you this October to cast a ballot in your favor. Vote Mary for Cary, Innsbrucker for Cary Town Council at large. I go by Mary for Cary because Innsbrucker's a tough name to remember, but I'm the only Mary on the ballot and I'm the only person for this job. Thank you.
Thank the Heart of Cary, and thank you also to the Chamber for allowing us to use this room. I am the type of person that is coming to downtown Cary. I was on the outskirts of Cary, and then I saw everything that was going on in downtown, and not only did I want to be a part of it, but I moved here. So as a Heart of Cary Association member, as somebody who's also participated in the great work done, and we stand on the shoulders of those long before us, I am really grateful to the work that you all do. I think what I'd like to leave you with is how important the vitality of our community is. And that means that we continue to be economically sustainable. That means that we focus on things that really matter, not just for us, but that there's actually a place for our children to grow up in over time. I'm also very concerned that we keep our focus on arts and culture. It's an important part of who we are. That's why we called it the Cary Arts Center, right? And didn't come up with a different name for it. I think those types of things matter to people and ensure that we have a remarkable place. And I also want to make sure that we continue on walkability. You know, walkability brings people together. Just recently finished watching a show called The Blue Zones, where people live to 100 years old. It's a great show on Netflix. And what is it that keeps people alive longer? It's communicating, it's social interactions, and it's walking. So I'd like to continue to do that work, should I be fortunate enough for your vote on October 10th. I'm Lori Bush. Thank you.